the magazine. This is called emotional growth. Emotional growth is extremely important to relationships. To have a lasting relationship, oftentimes we have to heal from our past hurts before we can connect with others on an emotional level. Our past experiences will determine how open or closed we are to emotional development. Relationships usually cannot survive without emotional growth at a higher level. Maturation is what helps us get through the process of emotional growth. Having emotional intelligence is another way to get through the process of emotional growth. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of and express one's emotions, control them, as well as handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. According to psychologist Daniel Goleman, there are 5 components of emotional intelligence. Those are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So below in the magazine, I give you an example of each of them and explain each of them in brief detail. So for example, our self-awareness helps us accept and acknowledge our own thoughts and behaviors, whether they are good or bad. Our self-regulation helps us control our own thoughts and behaviors and how we respond to others. Motivation, in terms of emotional growth, leads us to wanting to be and do better, developing upon our own strengths and weaknesses. Empathy helps us to try to understand others' thoughts, feelings, and perspectives, even if we do not always agree with them. Social skills helps us learn how to best communicate and engage with diverse people around us. That means engage with everyone. All of these attributes are important to having a good, healthy relationship with yourself as well as others. Emotional growth is often overlooked, but it is extremely important. In every relationship we encounter, we will encounter challenges with a partner who, well, not in every relationship, I shouldn't say, but in most relationships, we will encounter some form of challenges with a partner who is not emotionally mature. So I'm going to go back. Emotional growth is often overlooked, but it is important, because I got off topic, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. When we're in relationships, we encounter many different things, and the lack of emotional growth is one of the things that we might encounter when someone is not mature, or if they're bringing back past hurts with them. It's hard for them to emotionally connect with someone else. So I'm going to explain that later on in the reading, but I'll just go back and make sure that I'm reading verbatim so that I don't get thrown off again. So forgive me if I am repetitive, because I've lost where I was. So I'm going to pick up when I started. In every relationship, we encounter challenges with a partner who might not be mature on an emotional level. If he or she is not emotionally mature, this will cause problems in the relationship and could even prevent a potential relationship from even happening. So oftentimes when a person is not emotionally mature, they are disconnected, and they're afraid to attach themselves to someone emotionally. So that prevents the relationship with someone else to the ability to be able to flourish. So when a person is not emotionally intelligent, when in a relationship with the person, we might encounter a tit for tat type mentality. So what I'm trying to say here is, when a person is not emotionally intelligent, they tend to do things immaturely, like they have a tit for tat personality. If you do it, I'm going to do it. If you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it either. So it is very immature behavior to possess. So it's important to be emotionally intelligent when you're in any type of relationship. Or we might encounter someone who matures at a slower pace, or not at all. When dealing with a person who lacks emotional intelligence, we also might encounter a partner who is selfish or narcissistic. And if we ourselves are not emotionally intelligent ourselves, we won't know how to handle those type of individuals the right way. So it's important for everyone to possess emotional intelligence and have the ability to grow on an emotional level. If you struggle with emotional growth and are having problems connecting to others emotionally, take the necessary steps that you need to take to heal before getting into any type of relationship. Speak with a spiritual counselor who can give you the strategies and resources that you need to start on the road to healing. Read a book about how to develop emotional intelligence and practice the strategies that you read about. If you try to engage in a relationship prior to being able to emotionally connect to your partner, what will happen is you will find that you will be disconnected, so you will be guarded in some way, and that will hinder your mate's ability to build a connection with you. So it's not just about you being disconnected, it's about the ability of your mate being able to connect with you as well. So if you're shut off or you're shutting them off, you can never build a connection there. So people who lack emotional growth are usually people who are withdrawn, distant. They usually ghost others. So those are the people who come into your life and then disappear without even saying goodbye, or without even a good reason for being disconnected with you. They are indecisive as well about what they want and who they want. They're fearful of emotional intimacy, that connection again. They usually engage in self-destructing and sabotaging relationships. So they don't want you to connect with them. So they do things to prevent you from being able to get close to them. They have low self-efficacy. They usually have multiple short-term relationships with a bunch of different people at the same time to avoid having that emotional connection with one person. So people who have problems with emotional growth are usually not people that anyone is comfortable being in a long-term relationship with, especially if you hear some of the characteristics that I just described. No one wants to be in a long-term relationship with someone who is emotionally disconnected. So if you want a long-term relationship, get the help that you need to heal and develop emotionally. Take the time that you need to take care of yourself and nurture yourself. Just like you would nurture a plant that needs water to grow. You deserve it, and so does your present or future mate. So it's important to be on an emotional level where you're open to connecting with someone else on an emotional level. If you are not ready for that type of relationship, then it's best to heal first, because in the end, you'll only end up hurting the other person. So that article is written by me, Lynette Clement, in the For the Love of Relationship section of the September 2020 Love Exquisite Magazine, again, which you can access on loveexquisite.com, and it's titled Emotional Growth. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings to all of you.